Hi you guys! Before I jump into this first impressions video, which I filmed a couple days ago but haven't gotten around to editing yet, I wanted to pop in real quick and let you guys know that yes, I do know the shade I'm using in this video, which is number 204, is way too dark for my skin, even with a tan. It is super deep for my extra pale skin. I know I'm pale enough that I could probably be an honorary member of the Cullen family. I was kind of going off of, normally I'm the second, third, or fourth shade in a range. This range, though, once I tried this on, I realized that this range doesn't have a ton of super pale shades. Most of the shades are more yellow based and deeper. So I had to pick up a different shade, and that is actually the shade I'm wearing right now. And as you guys can see, it matches my neck and my chest absolutely perfectly. But I did not want to refilm the video, and I'll tell you why. Because I wanted my first impressions of this product to be as honest as humanly possible, and if I refilmed it, you won't be getting my true first impressions. So I did want to show you how the correct shade looks on my skin, how well it matches, and what it is, just in case you have super pale skin like I do. It is shade 201 Classic Ivory. This is the lightest shade they make of this, at least the lightest shade that I found at my Rite Aid and that they had in the display. And here's how it looks on my hand. As you can see, it's very pink toned. So only when I noticed that it was pink toned, and it's very light. It looks on my hand like it's going to be too light for my skin, but once you put it on and blend it in, it actually matches my skin perfectly. So just in case you're super pale like me, or you've taken my recommendations on colors for other foundations, this is the one that best matches my skin. So I'm going to stop rambling and let you guys get into the rest of the video, where I'm wearing a much darker foundation than is right for me, but that way you guys know what my first thoughts on this foundation are. So here's the video. Hi you guys! So today I wanted to pop in and do a first impressions for you. If you guys have watched either of the vlogs that I posted on Monday and Tuesday, you will have seen that I did pick up a new foundation that has been kind of hard to find in stores, but I actually found mine at Rite Aid, and it's the only place I've seen it so far. I haven't seen it in Walmart, Target, CVS, or Walgreens yet. So far, only in Rite Aid. But hopefully it will be coming out everywhere soon, and that is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro-Glow Foundation. Now this says it's up to 24 hours, which is a pretty impressive claim for a foundation. I got mine in shade 204 Natural Buff, which now that I'm at home might be a little bit dark for me, but I am getting more of a tan this summer, so hopefully it will blend in with my neck and my chest pretty well. If it doesn't, I might go and pick up a slightly lighter shade and blend them together. We'll see though. On the back it says, Lasting Glow Foundation, never dull, never greasy. It says it's radiant finish, 24-hour wear, medium coverage, and air-light texture. It says shake well, dot onto skin in rolling motion for flawless coverage. The way I take that is they want you to use a beauty blender, because this is the only thing I know of that you typically dot in a rolling motion. So I am going to go ahead and shake this up, being good and following directions. And I'm going to do this a little bit differently than I typically do reviews. I am doing this first impression style, but the last couple times I've done first impressions, you haven't seen the product again until I showed it in favorites, or I use it in a tutorial, something like that. So what I'm doing today is, it's actually, what time is it now? It is 10:53, and I'm going to apply this, show you guys how it applies, what I think of it. as I put it on, things like that. And then I'm going to do an update in a couple hours and then an update at the end of the day. Right now, all that's on my face is my eyebrows, my eye makeup, and my lips. I don't have on a concealer, any foundation, no moisturizer, no primers, nothing. When I first try a foundation, I like to try it without primer, without moisturizer, without sunscreen, without absolutely anything else on my face. So I am going to be applying this straight to my face. I am using a dampened beauty blender. I'm just going to pop some of this on the back of my hand. Okay. It is a fairly thin, runny consistency, as you guys can see. So it says medium coverage, but we'll see how that ends up. I'm just going to pat and rolling motion. Here we go. All right, so far so good. So far this is giving me very nice coverage, but I'm just going to blend this up on my forehead. So this is using up a good bit of product right now to get good coverage, more than I have to use with a typical foundation. But I think that's just because the foundation is so light and thin. But so far I really like the way it's applying. I have the foundation fully applied, and so far I do like it. It is definitely darker than my neck, and it has a fairly strong yellow undertone to it, which doesn't work great with me because I have a very pink natural undertone. But if I was fully going out, I could blend this down the neck, and it would fade in a little bit better. Now, I definitely think I'm going to look into picking up a shade, 1 or 2 shades lighter, to mix with this when I'm not super tan, which I definitely am not right now. That way it does match better. So even though it isn't the perfect shade, I am going to keep wearing it throughout the day. I'm not going anywhere today. I'm just kind of working at home today and doing some cleaning and things like that. So it really doesn't matter to me that my face doesn't perfectly match my neck. I actually really like the coverage with this. It's very, very nice so far. So since I am wearing this as a standard face today, I am going to use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Light to conceal with today. And I'm not going to take my concealer down onto my cheeks at all because I don't want to affect my opinion of the foundation at all by taking my concealer super far down. And I'm taking a Real Techniques contour brush and some of my Tarte Smooth Operator powder. And I'm just going to set underneath my eyes. For now, I'm not going to set anywhere else. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not going to set this foundation at all because, like I said earlier, I want to see how it wears just as a put it on and forget about it kind of foundation. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of blush on. All right, and that is it for now. So my face is fully done for the day and I'm ready to go. And I will check back in with you guys in a couple hours. Hi you guys, it's a little bit later now. It is 2:59 and so pretty much 3 o'clock. It is 4 hours since I applied this foundation and I'm kind of on the fence about it. I didn't use any primers, like I said. I didn't use any powder except where I concealed, and I'm kind of crossing the point from glowy to greasy, as you guys can see. So I'm not going to put any extra powder on, but I am going to blot off all of the excess oil. I don't typically blot because I do tend to set my face with enough powder that I don't need to throughout the day. So I don't have my standard blotting papers, but I am going to use a tissue. And I'm just going to blot everywhere. I don't know if you guys can see, but some of the foundation is coming off when I blot, which is expected for a little bit of it to come off. Hopefully not a ton of it. Alright, so that helps with the oil a good bit. As you can see, I'm looking glowy and not oily again. My house is about 74 degrees, so you guys know what temperature I'm in. I can guarantee you that if I was outside where it's about 85 right now, I would probably look like I dipped my face in a vat of pizza grease. So at 74, I got that oily in 4 hours. This is what is on the tissue after I blotted. Not a ton of foundation was removed. Foundation is a little bit patchy. Not patchy, but it's a little bit worn around my nose because I did have to blow my nose. Allergies, of course. But pretty much everywhere else it looks good. I have a little bit of creasing here and here, but that's just because I'm pretty expressive throughout the day. If I don't set those areas, they do tend to crease. And my pores don't look too bad. It looks like it settled into my pores just a little bit, not too much. Nothing that anyone would notice from a normal speaking distance, but if you're gonna have someone like here, then it's noticeable. So I am going to just go about the rest of my day. I will check in with you guys again probably about 7 or 8 o'clock and let you guys know how my face is doing. Okay, so it is 8 o'clock right now. Well, 7:58, but close enough. It's been about 5 hours since my last check-in, and I've worn this foundation for 9 hours altogether. Now, as you guys can see, I do have a little bit more oil again coming through, but it's honestly not as bad as it was when I checked in midday and had to blot with the tissue. This definitely isn't bad. It could use a little bit of blotting, but what this tells me is that if you top this foundation with the translucent powder, it should last you probably about maybe 7 to 9 hours without needing to touch up unless you're super oily. I'm not super oily, but I'm pretty oily. I've actually been doing a lot of work in this makeup. I've been going through and cleaning up my garage, which is a ridiculous amount of work. And I am really happy with how this has held up. It's worn off a little bit more around my nose and just a tiny bit around my mouth. But the rest of my face is actually holding really well. All in all, I'm very pleased with this. The only spots that I can see that look like they're breaking up at all is a tiny bit around my chin and a tiny bit right here. But those are the places that will break up on me first in almost every single foundation I use, period. Other than that, it's actually held on really well. The color is good. It doesn't look like it's oxidized or changed shades at all. It hasn't sunk any further into lines or pores than it initially did at that first checkup. And yeah, I'm actually pretty pleased with this foundation. I, of course, am going to have to try this in different temperatures, doing different activities. And I definitely want to try this another time using a translucent powder to set this with and see how well it holds up then. Overall, very positive impressions with this. I think it holds up well. I think it looks good on my skin. I'm pleased with how it's worn during the day. So if you're looking for a foundation that is more of a summery foundation, less of a super matte look, and one that's going to hold for a long time, I would definitely recommend giving this a shot. Of course, I'm probably not going to have a chance to test this out for 24 hours straight anytime soon. For as well as it held up for the 9 hours I've had it on so far, I definitely think this could possibly hold up to 24 hours. Probably not spotless. You would probably have a good deal of patchiness, some areas that have broken up, etc. after 24 hours. So I am going to try this another day with a couple different powders. I'm going to try it with probably a banana powder, probably a translucent powder, probably a totally different kind of translucent powder, and play with it. And if I absolutely fall in love with it, since it is the end of the month, you won't see this in my June favorites, but if I absolutely adore it, you will see this show up in my July favorites. So I hope that this first impressions with updates was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, or just want to say hi, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. You can also keep up with me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, yeah, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. It's a lot to remember. I'm pretty much everywhere, and all the links for those are down in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!